Addis Ababa has once again taken center stage as Ethiopia welcomes African leaders for the 39th Ordinary Session of the African Union, a U Assembly, reaffirming its status as the diplomatic capital of Africa.
Addis Ababa in the spotlight. Ethiopia welcomes Africa for the 2026 African Union Summit.
Africa is standing at a turning point, and the battle is not over gold or technology. It's over water. Right now, presidents, policymakers, power brokers from across the continent are gathering in Addis Ababa for one of the most critical summits in recent history. Why? Because water scarcity is no longer just an environmental issue, it is becoming a question of food security, public health, political stability, and even national survival. Is Africa entering a new era where water decides power? Can sustainable water systems unlock Agenda 2063, or will climate pressure push nations toward crisis? Welcome back to eGreen Channel, where we decode Africa's biggest environmental, geopolitical, and development stories with clarity, facts, and bold analysis. Stay with us because what you're about to hear could redefine Africa's future. Africa's water crisis just became a security issue. All leaders meet in Addis Ababa for a historic summit. The EU's 39th Assembly positions water security as a continental strategic priority. Leaders are convening in Addis Ababa, Africa's diplomatic capital, for decisive policy dialogue. Water scarcity is now framed as a governance and stability issue, not just environmental. Rapid population growth is placing unprecedented pressure on water systems. Urban expansion is accelerating infrastructure gaps in sanitation and water supply. Climate variability is intensifying droughts and extreme weather risks. Food security is directly tied to irrigation and water access. Public health outcomes depend on safe sanitation systems. Hydropower and energy security hinge on sustainable water management. Water stress threatens social cohesion and political legitimacy in vulnerable regions. Agenda 2063 links water security to Africa's long-term prosperity vision. The summit emphasizes climate resilience through water governance reforms. Policymakers aim to integrate water into economic planning and investment strategies. Regional cooperation on transboundary water resources is gaining urgency. The EU is pushing for innovation, financing mechanisms, and infrastructure modernization. So here's the big question. Will this summit become the moment Africa turns water from a crisis into an engine of growth and stability? Or will delays push the continent deeper into climate stress and political tension? The future of food, energy, health, and peace may depend on the decisions being made right now. And that's why understanding water security is no longer optional, it is essential for Africa. As future, in the heart of Addis Ababa, a new chapter for Africa is being written, one where the continent's most vital resource takes center stage. The 39th Assembly of the African Union has declared water security a strategic priority, signaling a monumental shift in continental policy. Leaders from across Africa are gathering, not just for another meeting, but for a decisive dialogue that could shape the future for generations. This isn't just about water anymore, it's about governance, stability, and the very foundation of a prosperous Africa. For too long, the narrative of water in Africa has been one of scarcity and struggle. But now, it's being reframed as an issue of governance and stability. This isn't a problem for tomorrow, it's a challenge for today. The continent's rapid population growth is putting unprecedented pressure on already strained water systems. Every day, more people need more water for drinking, for farming, and for industry. This demographic boom is most visible in Africa's sprawling cities. Urban expansion is happening at a breathtaking pace, far outstripping the development of essential infrastructure. New neighborhoods spring up almost overnight, but the pipes and treatment plants lag far behind. This creates a growing gap between demand and supply, leaving millions without reliable access to clean water and sanitation, and turning the dream of city life into a daily struggle for survival. Compounding this pressure is the relentless march of climate change. Climate variability is no longer a distant threat. Its effects are being felt across the continent. Droughts are becoming more frequent and severe, turning one's fertile lands into dust. When the rains do come, they often arrive in violent, unpredictable storms, causing devastating floods that destroy homes, contaminate water sources, and wash away topsoil. This new reality of extreme weather is a direct assault on Africa's water security. The ripple effects of this water crisis are profound, and nowhere is this more evident than in agriculture. Food security is directly tied to water access. The majority of Africa's food is produced by smallholder farmers who rely on rainfall. When the rains fail, crops wither, and the threat of hunger looms large. Irrigation offers a solution, but it too depends on a reliable and sustainably managed water supply. Without water, there is no food. It's that simple. Beyond the fields, the lack of clean water casts a long shadow over public health. Billions of dollars in economic potential are lost each year due to water and sanitation-related diseases. When people lack access to safe drinking water and proper sanitation facilities, diseases like cholera and typhoid can spread like wildfire. Children are especially vulnerable, with waterborne illnesses being a leading cause of mortality. A healthy population is a productive population, and that starts with the fundamental right to clean water. The crisis also threatens to dim the lights on Africa's economic ambitions. Hydropower is a cornerstone of the continent's energy strategy, promising clean and affordable electricity to power homes and industries. But these ambitions hinge entirely on sustainable water management. Fluctuating river flows and shrinking reservoirs, driven by climate change and overuse, jeopardize the reliability of hydropower dams. This energy insecurity, in turn, hampers industrial growth and economic development, creating a vicious cycle. When taps run dry and fields turn to dust, the social fabric itself begins to fray. Water stress is a potent driver of conflict, threatening social cohesion and political legitimacy. Disputes can erupt between communities, between farmers and herders, and even between nations that share river basins. Governments that fail to provide this most basic necessity risk losing the trust of their people, creating a fertile ground for instability. Water security is therefore inseparable from peace and political stability. But this story is not just one of crisis, it's also one of hope and ambition. Africa's blueprint for the future, Agenda 2063, explicitly links water security to the continent's prosperity. It envisions an Africa that is integrated, peaceful, and driven by its own citizens. Achieving this vision is impossible without mastering the management of its water resources. Water is the thread that connects all aspects of development, from industrialization and agriculture to health and peace. At the summit in Addis Ababa, this vision is being translated into action. The discussions are centered on building climate resilience through comprehensive water governance reforms. This means moving beyond emergency responses and creating proactive, long-term strategies. It involves protecting wetlands and forests that act as natural water towers, investing in early warning systems for droughts and floods, and empowering communities to manage their local water resources sustainably. A key theme emerging from the Assembly is the need to integrate water into all aspects of economic planning. For too long, water has been treated as an infinite resource, an afterthought in development projects. Policymakers are now pushing for a paradigm shift, one where the value of water is recognized in every decision, from building new cities to planning industrial zones. This holistic approach ensures that growth is not just rapid, but also sustainable. The challenge of water in Africa is often a shared one. Many of the continent's most important rivers and lakes cross national borders, making regional cooperation not just beneficial, but essential. The urgency to work together on managing these transboundary water resources is gaining momentum. Collaborative agreements on data sharing, joint infrastructure projects, and equitable water allocation can turn potential points of conflict into powerful engines of regional integration and shared prosperity. Ultimately, securing Africa's water future requires a massive push on multiple fronts. The African Union is championing a new era of innovation, calling for the adoption of new technologies in water conservation, recycling, and desalination. It's advocating for new financing models to unlock the trillions of dollars needed for infrastructure modernization. From smart irrigation systems to state-of-the-art water treatment plants, the goal is to build a 21st-century water infrastructure that is resilient, efficient, and capable of meeting the needs of a growing continent. Africa's future flows through its rivers, lakes, and aquifers. By placing water at the heart of its agenda, the continent is taking a bold and necessary step toward a more secure, stable, and prosperous future for all its people. Thank you for watching. If you found this analysis valuable and informative, please like, share, and subscribe to eGreen channel for more content on building a sustainable future. Until next time, stay informed and stay ahead.